is 5%, not more than 5%, but less you can have. One is 1% error or less than 1% error, no problem, but you cannot have more than 5% error. So now we have to classify the classification of the tool. So I'm not telling you the classification of instruments, because in social sciences, we don't use instruments, we use tools. So I'm only giving you the classification of the tools. So let me have, this is the serial number. And the tools are classified under two categories. One is called, let us have here base. Standardized and unstandardized. Now the tools are the standardized tools or the unstandardized tools. So tools have been classified under these two groups, the standardized and the unstandardized. Let us see the difference between the standardized tool and the unstandardized tool. So one difference between standardized and unstandardized is on the basis of preparation, the steps followed in preparation. So preparation of, so in the standardized one, there is a set procedure of development. In the unstandardized one, there is no set procedure of development. This is the one difference between the two. Another difference is the reliability. In the standardized one, reliability is known. In unstandardized one, reliability is unknown. Then another is validity. So validity is known. And validity is unknown. Norms. Norms can be established. Norms cannot be established. Then another, you can say the nature of data, or you can say the type of data. In this one, you will have the quantitative data. And here you may have the quantitative data as well as qualitative data. Quantitative as well as qualitative data. These are the differences between the standardized tool and the unstandardized tool. Let me give you the example. In the standardized tool, your tools are test. Test means, for example, intelligence test, reasoning test, achievement test, reading comprehension test. Vocabulary test. So like this, you have different tests. Aptitude test. So like this, there are many tests. And these tests can be standardized. And if you want to use them as unstandardized, you can do it. But you should understand, if you are in research, we normally do not use a unstandardized test. We always use a standardized test. But if you want to use it, well, that's up to you. Then another is a scale. It is scientific attitude scale. It is a reaction towards online program scale. So if you want, you can say reaction towards ETV program scale. So like this, you can have many scales. Absolutely no problem. Then you have inventory. For example, interest inventory. For example, vocational reference record. For example, occupation inventory. So there are different types of inventories. Please test, inventory, and scale. All these should be standardized if you want to use them in research. But if you want to use them in research without standardization, it is your choice. But if it is not standardized, then you know people will not have faith on your finding, because your data will not be reliable and the conclusion you arrive at will not be reliable. So it is important that you must use the test, scale, and inventory after standardization. Please understand, in many of the books, if you want, I can name the books, like Kothari. He has given the name questionnaire, and under questionnaire, he has given scale, which is technically incorrect, because questionnaire cannot be standardized. And why cannot be standardized? Because you get the qualitative information. And for standardization, you require the quantitative information. So that is the thing that you should understand it. Now, I hope you know the difference between test, scale, and inventory. Can any one of you tell me the difference between the test and the scale? Difference between test and scale. I'm waiting for your answer. I've not got any answer from your side. Okay, let me tell you. Okay, one answer has come. Let us see what is that. Okay, Krishna. I'm sorry, Mamta, sorry. Please understand. Let me give you the example. One, I'm saying add 4 pens and 3 pencils. Another, I'm saying research methodology is useful. I'm saying agree, undecided, and disagree. Now, can any one of you tell me what is the answer of the first question? Add 4 pens and 3 pencils. Add, what is the answer, Chauhan? Chauhan, give me the answer of the question number 1. I'm not asking whether it is scale or inventory. I'm not asking that. Jyoti, I've seen your answer. Harkesh, I have seen your answer. Shakshi, I have seen your answer. Kumar, I have seen your answer. I'm sorry, my dear friend. Your answers are wrong. That means you do not know addition. So this here, the answer which you have given is wrong. Is wrong answer. Your answer is not correct. Sakshi, it is wrong. That means you do not know addition. Now, give me the answer for the question from the item number 2. Research methodology is useful. Give me the response for item number 2. Give me the response for item number 2. Jyoti, why are you studying research methodology? Jyoti, why are you studying research methodology? Okay, Swati, you agree. All right. Any other participant like to answer? Okay. Now, all of you are giving agree. Now, can I, if someone says undecided and someone says disagree, then can I say that their responses are wrong or right? Can I say that the responses given for item number 2 is correct or incorrect? Can I say or no? No, Divya. Divya, seems you are not understanding. So that means the response for the number 2, you cannot say whether it is correct or incorrect. The response cannot be designated as correct or incorrect. Because there is no fixed answer. Now, I have given the wrong answer. Here, you have given the wrong answer because there are fixed answers. Let me give you the answer so that you start understanding. No, Jyoti, it is not perception. perception and reactions are very different. Reaction, Jyoti, when you go to buy sweets from the vendor, so he will make you to taste. And when you are tasting, that is your reaction. You may say, this is okay, this is not okay. So it's not your perception. It is your reaction. Reaction because you have the first-hand experience. When you go to see the movie, then you can talk about the movie very well because you have seen the movie. But if you hear someone, then you cannot say whether it is good or it is not good. So reaction means personal experience. So that is the difference between reaction and the perception. Now I can give you the answer. If suppose I ask you a question, add ₹1 and $1. What is the answer? What is the answer? Add ₹1 and $1. Yes, you are right, Jyoti. So that means now, can you give me the answer of add 4 pens and 3 pencils? That means you can add only if they belong to the same group, same class, if same category, and if they have the same unit. So now can you make the same group? Now you can say that it is 4 pens and 3 pencils. So in place of and, I can put a plus sign. And then I can say, let pen and pencil be object. Because pen is the object and pencil is also the object. So then I can say that it is 4 objects plus the 3 objects. So the answer is 7 objects. If you see, say let pen and pencil be item, then you can say 4 items plus 3 items is equal to 7 items. Like this, you can answer this particular question. That means you people do not know the rule of addition. And you do not know subtraction also, I'm 100% sure. Anyway, we go ahead. So therefore, the difference between the test and the scale is, in the test, your answer can be categorized as correct or incorrect. In the scale, you cannot say that your response is correct or incorrect because there is no fixed response. In inventory also, you cannot say that your response is correct or incorrect. See, when you go to the hotel to eat sometime, they give you the menu card. That menu card is nothing but the inventory of soup, inventory of vegetable, inventory of sweets, etc. So that is called inventory. Inventory means listing all soups which are available in that particular hotel. Now in the science lab, you have a stock register. And in the stock register, you are entering the name of all the items which are available in that lab. And that is called inventory. So in inventory, you do not have correct answer or incorrect answer. I hope you have understood it. Now, the unstandardized tools are one is called schedule. The schedule can be of two types. One is called observation schedule, and another is called interview schedule. An interview schedule will be of two types. One is called structured interview schedule, and another you call unstructured interview schedule. It is unstructured. And then you have the questionnaire. Questionnaire will be of two types. One is called closed and another is called open. Open-ended. Now, your schedule, observation schedule, interview schedule, and questionnaire will give you the qualitative information and may also give you the quantitative information. But the qualitative information cannot be converted into quantitative. Please listen carefully. The qualitative information received from the observation schedule or interview schedule or questionnaire cannot be converted into quantitative, and therefore these can never be standardized. So that is the thing that you should understand. And if anyone is from education, then I tell you that there are many observation schedules available. I don't know whether you know or not. One is the Flinders interaction category system, It is called FICS. And it is a observation schedule. Then there are many observation schedule. So many observation schedules are given in mirrors for behavior. So this is the book. There are 10 volumes of this mirror for behavior, and it is very, very, very rich. And I have given the name of all the observation schedules available in the mirrors for behavior in my book. If you take my book, Research Methodology and Applied Statistics, then under tool, you will find I have given the schedules, whatever schedules are available in mirrors for behavior. And your interview schedule, you know, interview schedule will be used only if you want to collect the information from head of the institute. You cannot use interview schedule to collect the information from students or from teachers, because the number is very large. But if suppose there is a vice chancellor and you want to take some information about the university, then vice chancellor will be able to give you, or even the registrar will also be able to give you. But some of the information registrar will not be able to give, but the vice chancellor will be able to give. So if you want to collect the information from the vice chancellor, you cannot use a questionnaire. You have to use the interview schedule. And when you go to interview the vice chancellor, then you may jot down the questions which you want to put to the vice chancellor to get the required information. So beforehand, you are listing the questions, but it may happen that when the vice chancellor is giving the information, then sometimes you may ask a supplementary question. And therefore you try to go deep into a one particular aspect. So then it is a unstructured. So structured interview schedule will be used when you want to collect information from different areas, and unstructured when you want to collect information related to a particular aspect, going deep into it. So when you want to go deep, so you ask one question, there will be reply, and on the basis of that reply, you ask another question. You get another reply, and then you ask another question. So this is how you go deep and deep and deep. Now, if you have the open-ended and the closed questionnaire, so your questionnaire, you can have the problems which you face during, let us say, the list the problems you face during online webinar. If I have this, another I have from the following problems which problems you face during online webinar. And here you list the problem that voice is not clear. Then you say yes, you say question mark, and you say no. Another can be the video does not work. Third, participants cannot ask questions. So like this, you can write as many statements as you like. And then this is called closed. So either you can have a questionnaire which is a complete closed questionnaire, or you may have a questionnaire which is open, completely open, or you may have a questionnaire where some portion is closed and some portion is open. For example, that you have written many questions, and after that you can write any other problem you faced. So here you have a closed as well as an open one. And these cannot be standardized because the information which you will be getting will only be the qualitative, and quantitative will be only nominal scale data, where only frequency will be there, and at the most you can compute the percentages, but not more than that. So I hope you have understood it. Now your test, scale, and inventory can be standardized, but your schedule, interview schedule, observation schedule, and questionnaire can be developed, but they cannot be standardized. So therefore, now I am going to tell you how will you develop and standardize the tool. Development of tool. Steps of developing the tool. Steps of development of tool. Perfectly correct. Rawat, it is very, very difficult to say whether open-ended questionnaire is better or closed questionnaire is better. It is the researcher who understands the situation, he or she can answer, can decide for herself or himself. I cannot recommend because I don't know what is the situation. I do not know what is the variable for which you want to collect the information. So without knowing your population, without knowing your variable, I will not be able to suggest whether mix will be okay or only open or only closed. Now, so the first step is that whatever is the variable that you have, because you have already decided the variable related to which you want to have a tool. And if you have, then you must know, you must define the variable. And it is called operational definition of the variable. So first step is the operational definition of the variable, for which the tool is being developed. Now, what is the meaning of the operational definition? I hope you know the meaning of operation. Why doctor operates on the patient? Because without opening, the doctor may not be able to see the damage done to the body portion or nerves or whatever it is. So he opens it and then he finds out how much is the damage. So without opening, it's not possible. And that is why it is called operational definition. Means you are giving the definition of the variable in such words or such attributes which are observable and measurable. Observable and measurable. So when you are giving the definition of the variable in observable and measurable, Divya, I have said why it is called operational definition. I am giving you that reason only, observable and measurable. So suppose I tell you like this, that if I say that say you want to develop a tool to assess the numerical reasoning. So you can say numerical reasoning is defined as solving 10 numerical reasoning questions or items in 20 minutes. So this is how I have defined that numerical reasoning refers to solving 10 numerical reasoning items in 20 minutes. So that means you have decided yourself that you will give the 10 numerical reasoning questions or items and you will give them 20 minutes to solve it. If you want to give 20 items and 20 questions, then you have to give 40 minutes to solve it according to this definition. And these operational definitions you can see from the dictionary, you can see from the books on psychology or other subjects, and then you can coin your own definition. You can see even Google also, you can type and say, how do we define it? So the Google can also give you the definition. You may stick to that definition or you may not stick. It is all up to you. So therefore, first of all, you have to decide the definition. And once you have decided the definition of the variable, then the second step is item writing. Item is the technical word. It is used for question. It is used in place of statement. So when I say item writing, that means I'm telling you to write either the question or the statements, or you make the list. So item is the technical word. Now, when you want to write the items, then you have to keep many points in the mind. Points to be kept in mind while writing items. There are many points which you have to keep in the mind, and I am not giving you the points in a particular sequence, but as they come to my mind, I give you. So number one is that your target group. You must know that for whom you want to develop that tool. Are you going to develop the tool for educated people or uneducated people? Are you going to develop that tool for children or for adults or for adolescents? So you should know whether your target group is educated or uneducated. Do they belong to villages or cities? What are their qualifications? What type of job are they doing? You know, these are the different things which you have to decide. Now, once you have decided, then number two, the point to be kept in the mind is that you have to see the language. You have to decide the language. whether you want to write items in Hindi or in English or Malayalam or Marathi or Gujarati, the choice is yours. It depends upon your target group. If your target group knows English or Malayalam, then you have to decide whether you want to develop it in English or Malayalam, or you want to write both. The choice is yours. You might have seen in the UGC NET exam, the questions are both in English as well as Hindi. Okay, that's what you have, because some of the people, though you appear in the NET exam, UGC NET exam, some of them, they know English, some of them might be knowing English as well as Hindi. So you have to decide the language. Then you have to write simple sentence or simple items. You cannot write complex. I have seen many people write very, very complex sentences. So please do not write the complex sentences. Write the simple sentence which is easy to understand. Simple sentence, easy to understand. Then one sentence should give only one or seek one information. That sentence should not be double-barreled. Sentence should not be double-barreled. What is the meaning of double-barreled? Double-barreled means if I say like this, research methodology is simple and useful. Now here, when you say agree, and when you say undecided, and when you say disagree. Now here I have written the two, simple, and another I have written useful. Now some of you may say that it is simple but not useful. So some of you may agree and some of you may disagree. But if I write like this, if you say disagree, then I do not know what is the meaning of disagree. Whether you are disagreeing for simple or you are disagreeing for useful. So such items should not be written. In place of this, you should write the two items. One, you should write that research methodology is simple. Another, you write research methodology is useful. So instead of two, instead of one item, you must write two items. Now, whatever will be the response of the person, you cannot misinterpret it. It is easy to understand. So therefore, that is the important words. Then do not use vague words. Vague words are more, less, high, low, greater, less. Okay. Simple, difficult. Don't use such type of words, because when you say more or less or high or low or greater or less than, people do not understand. Why? Because they don't know the criteria of saying more or less. Now, right now, 26 people have joined. So can I say it is small group or it is large group? I cannot say. So I should say that 26 people joined. That's all. I cannot say more than that. Then another is that use simple words. You know, there are difficult words and there are simple words. Use simple words. Why? Because if your words are simple, then the person will be able to understand the meaning of the sentence or meaning of the items. And if it is not, then you cannot. Like this. So that's about your language. So simple sentence and all that, that's fine. Then another is that in case of scale, write both positively as well as negatively worded items in equal number. If you are writing 40 items, your 20 items must be positively worded and 20 items must be negatively worded. Why? If you write more positively worded items, then your net result will be positive. If you write more negatively worded items, then your net result is negative. But if you want the neutral, then you have to have the positively worded and negatively worded item must be in the equal number. If you are writing 30 items, then 15 must be positively worded and 15 must be negatively worded. And they should be mixed. So positively worded items and negatively worded items must be mixed. That means you should not put all positively worded items first and all negatively worded items first or second. No, you mix them up so that some positively worded, then negatively worded, then some positively and some negatively. So therefore, arrange positively worded as well as negatively worded items arrange positively worded and negatively worded items randomly. Then another point is that you should write in case of scale, you should write one filler item, such as I am not a human being. Or you may write I am not reading, or I am answering without reading. I am responding without reading. Why? Because it is observed that in case of a scale, people keep on putting the tick mark randomly. And if they are putting the tick mark randomly, sometimes they put the tick mark on item which is not appropriate. If you write, I'm not a human being, and if they put the mark agree, that means the person has not read, and therefore the answer sheet of this particular person should be thrown out. So therefore it will be very helpful. And this item should not be kept in the beginning or at the end. It must be placed somewhere in between. So such item, and you have to write only one filler item, not more. Here I have written one filler item. You cannot have more. Put the filler item somewhere in the middle. Okay. Now, in case of a test, the items must be with different difficulty level. You cannot arrange all items which are easy. You cannot take all items which are difficult. No, you have to take some items which are easy, some items which are difficult. Now, how will you decide how many items should be difficult and how many items should be easy? It depends upon you, because you know the purpose of developing that test. Is it for selection purpose, or is it for admission into the course, or is it for examination passing the candidate, whatever it is. So that you have to decide. Then when you are writing the item, so you must know that how many options you should have. So therefore, in case of test, decide difficulty level, discrimination index, types of item, whether you want to have objective type, multiple choice type, filling the blanks type, comparison type, that you have to decide. Then you have to decide that the content related to which items are to be returned. So these are the things which you have to take into consideration while writing the item for the test. Another important point that you have to understand is that whether you are developing the scale or inventory or test, you have to write the instruction. Write instruction carefully. It should include the name of the tool, the dimensions covered, number of items, mode of response, then fixed time or not for giving the response. You know, in our board exam or the university exam, you are given 3 hours. So whether you are able to write the answer of all the required question in 3 hours or not, they will not extend the time. So that is, and sometimes they give extra time, and sometimes they may say you take as much time as you like. So the test and the time is only important in case of a test, not scale, not inventory. So like this you can give, and then you should write that your responses will be kept confidential and used only for research work. So this sentence is very important. So this sentence is very, very, very important. You have to write this. Okay. So these are some of the points which you have to keep in the mind. And now once you have written the item, then the next step is that you have to try out the item. Because after writing the items, you should try it out. Many times you might have seen in your own homes that when mother invites someone for lunch or dinner, sometimes when she is cooking, she tastes. That is the tryout. Now, sometime when you get your clothes stitched, then the tailor will ask you to come for the trial. If you go to purchase your dress, the ready-made dress, then there is a trial room, so you can take and you can wear it and see whether it fits you or it doesn't fit you. All these are examples of tryout. So therefore, now after the items have been written by the researcher, then you have to try out. And this tryout will be of two types. One is called initial tryout, and another is called the final tryout. The main purpose, the main objective of initial tryout is to select items. And the main purpose, main objective of final tryout is to establish reliability, validity, and norms. So these are the differences between the initial tryout and final tryout. Let me explain you the initial tryout. That initial tryout has to be done by following the so you have to, after writing the items, these have to be given to the experts. And therefore it is called expert tryout. Now, who is an expert? An expert is the one, who has developed the tool for assessing the same variable for which you want to develop the tool. Suppose you want to develop the tool for steady habit, and you are developing the steady habit inventory, and there is a person, his name is Marmar Mukhopadhyay. Say he has developed the steady habit inventory. Now, if you want, you can show your definition of steady habit inventory to him. So he becomes the expert. Or the expert can be who teaches or has taught the same, topic okay, or who has experience in developing the tools. So such type of person will be called the expert person. So that is the one. So you have to give your operational definition along with the items and the instruction. And these things you can send to the experts either online, because some of the experts, their email address you might be having. So you can send your items along with the operational definition of the variable. Also, you write the letter and request the expert to help you in validating your items. Request him that you read each item and see whether it is as per the operational definition or not. In case the item is not, then request him to modify the item. And if the item cannot be modified, then he can recommend for removing the item or for deleting the item. You can request also that if possible, you may add 1 or 2 items. So you are sending your operational definition, items along with this letter. Now, if some of the experts are not available online, then you can send the operational definition, the items and the letter through post. But when you are sending it through post, please be careful that you must send the two envelopes. One an envelope in which you will be putting your tool, that is items, as well as the letter, and you should put another envelope in this envelope along with your address and stamp. It is called self-addressed stamped envelope. Why? Because he should not spend money from his pocket for posting the items after checking, because he will be devoting time and you are not paying for his time, and his time is very precious. So therefore, once you have done this, so some of the experts might be very busy and they may not be able to read your item, and maybe after a month you request them to help you in selecting the items. So sometimes you may have to give the response not once, but many a times. So therefore you have to do it, means you have to do it. Now, once you get back the responses from the experts, then take the first item and see. Now, the question is, how many experts should you have? Now, you cannot have 100 experts. It's not feasible. So you should have approximately 15 experts. Some of you may ask, can we have 20? Why not? You can ask, can we have 14? Why not? But if you say, can I have 5? The answer is no. Can I have 10? The answer is no. Why? Because if some of the experts do not respond, then the number will be very small, and then the decision taken by you will not be appropriate, will not be all right. So at least you should, when you are sending it to 15 people, at least you may get the responses from 12 people, from 13 people, from 11 people. And you have to remind them again and again. This is very important. Once you get the response from the experts, then you have to analyze. And you will be analyzing that on item number 1, the experts who have given the responses, how many of them have given any suggestion or have improved the item. If you find no one has improved the item and they say it is all right, then this item is selected. Then you see the second item. In the second item, if you have got the responses from 12 experts and only one expert has suggested modification, the remaining experts have not suggested any modification. So what should you do? In my opinion, you should read it carefully, the modification which he has suggested. And if you also agree with the modification, then you can modify the item as per his suggestion. Even one expert has given the suggestion, no problem at all. So therefore, like this, you have to go through each and every item and see the responses given by the experts and take the decision accordingly. And if some experts have written more items, then you can take them also into consideration, no problem. Now, if you have written one more thing, I did not tell you, my dear friend, it skipped my, that you should write double the number required. Write items double the number. If you want to keep 20 items, then you should write 40 items. If you want to keep 30 items, you should write 60 items. If you want to keep 50 items, you should start with 100 items. Why more items? Some of the items will be deleted, will be rejected on the basis of the responses of the experts. So suppose you have 40 items, and out of 40 items, suppose 5 items are rejected. And out of 40, if 5 items are rejected, then you may be left with 35 items. So out of 40 items, five items are rejected, and you will be left with 35 items, which have been selected by the experts, or which have been okayed by the expert. Now, once these 35 items, along with the instruction, because the experts have seen your instruction also, and they might have modified your instruction or might not have modified your instruction, so you can take them further. Now, then next, what you have to do is that it is called individual tryout. What is the meaning of individual tryout? That now you have to give each item to one person at a time. You try out each and every item by taking one person at a time, not a group. And the individual tryout, you should have approximately 25 people. And they should belong to your target group for whom you are developing the tool. And there must be male, there must be female, they must belong to the different organizations, they must be from rural area, urban area, things of that variety, so that your tool will be applicable to larger number of the people. So this group has to be selected by you meticulously. And after selecting the group, you take permission from the principal, because you have selected that you want to go here and here in these schools or in these institutions or in these offices. or these patients. So then what you do is that if it is hospital, you take permission from the administrator of the hospital. If it is a school, take the principal from the permission from the principal. If it is college, take the permission from the principal of the college. If it is university department, take the permission from the head of the department. After taking the permission, then you can take one individual from that particular group and introduce yourself to him or her and tell the purpose of your coming and your taking his help. You should tell that I am developing the tool for this particular variable and I need your help. And the help is I will give you one item at a time and I will request you to read it and tell me whether you are able to understand the meaning or not. So you are not giving any other thing, any other information, and you are not asking the name of the person. You just take and give. So first give the instruction and ask the person to read instruction carefully and take your time. After the person has read the instruction, you ask, is it all right or you want some change? If the person says, yes, I have not understood this, so you should note down in your diary and immediately try to modify the instruction and ask the person again, is this modification okay? If he or she says it is okay, so you note it down. Now you give one item and ask him or her to read and find out whether he or she has understood or not. So it is only the language aspect you are testing, not more than that. So once the first item has been read, now give another item. So keep on giving the item as and when the person completes reading the first one. And you should have all 35 items on 35 separate slips or separate pages so that you give one at a time to him or her. Now, one person may take half an hour, may take 20 minutes. So if you are having 25 people and if they take half an hour, you need at least 13, 14 hours. And you have to take only one or two people from one institute and then you go to another institute, again take one or two. Don't take all from the same. You have to, so therefore you have to travel from one institute to another institute. So this is important. Another important point in the individual tryout that you have to go in some institute in the morning and some institute in the evening so that you are able to get the response of the people in the morning as well as in the evening. Now, once you have collected, then you have to again find out that on instruction, how many students had problem and the modification which you did, whether it was okay or not. If it was okay, then you have your instruction, modified instruction. Now you go to item number 1. If you see all people, they say it is all right, then this is selected. On second item, so analyze each item separately and find out how many students or how many responders wanted some modification. So like this, it is quite possible that out of 35 items, 5 items, 6 items might be rejected. Because a respondent faced problem. Now you are left with, now there are 29 items. Now you have to proceed with 29 items. And what to do after this will be the group tryout, which I will explain you tomorrow. So this I will explain you tomorrow. Till then, goodbye. Any question you want to ask? And I'm sorry I have taken 11 minutes more, but doesn't matter. Any question you want to ask? No, Rawat, that is what I told you in the question. It is not questionnaire. It is the scale, undecided and neutral. It is a scale, not questionnaire. That is what I told you, Rawat, that many of the books, they are giving scale under the chapter named as questionnaire, which is technically wrong. So in questionnaire, you cannot write neutral or you cannot write undecided. It is the scale. It is the scale. So therefore, that is the thing. Rawat, I hope you have understood it. Krishna, I have already told you about the questionnaire, how to develop it. So thank you very much. See you tomorrow.